Good morning, good morning. It is raining outside and it's dark because it's winter and I hate it. There's nothing I can do. Right, so it is day 13 of the Believathon readathon, and I'm on my 7th book. The agenda for today is 101 Dalmatians by Dodie Smith, which I'm super excited about. I'm probably only going to read 101 Dalmatians and not also the Starlight Barking, because it has both of them in here. It's quite thick. But I just want to read the one. And maybe, you know, after some time I might think about going back and reading the Starlight Barking, because if it's really good, I'll want more. So regarding Believathon prompts, I believe that this one is like the seasonal one, the one to do with Christmas, because it's like really snowy and wintry, and I think it ends like on Christmas Day when they're all together, and definitely like the Disney movie is a bit Christmassy, and also today I'm pretty sure is Believathon Disney Day, like the day when everyone reads Disney books. I think. I could have that wrong, but I thought it was today. Anyway, I'm gonna have my own Disney Day, whether it's actual Believathon Disney Day or not. I'm really excited to read this one. Hopefully I get loads of time in work. If not, then definitely after work. But I think maybe if I have time, I'll try to watch the movie with my munchkin today as well, because I don't think she's seen it. I also loved, so Dodie Smith, I love. She also wrote I Capture the Castle, which has been one of my favorite books since I read it when I was like, I don't know, in my teens at some point. Super good as well. So I like her as an author, and I'm pretty excited. Also, I really like this edition. Like, it's got really good illustrations. Oh, look. It's like all the dogs. And it's just like on almost every page there's something really cute. And there's like big ones. Oh yeah, like this one. And like that one. Oh, they're so cute. Oh. Oh yeah. Who's the illustrator on this one? Alex T. Smith. Oh yeah, I'm pretty excited. What a glorious morning. Just kidding. It's raining again. Damn it. Okay. I found an amazing thing at work, which is a super cheap audiobook version of 101 Dalmatians. So I've been listening to it in work and a bit at lunch while I was doing errands, and it's so cute! Oh my god, I love it so much. Like, it is Disney Day officially in Believathon land. So I feel like I'm also participating on the proper day, which is like, my life is just so well managed and put together, like. And I'm not sure if maybe I don't quite remember the movie all the way, because it was ages ago since I saw like the Disney version of 101 Dalmatians. But I think from what I remember, the book is quite different, and like in a really good way. The book is so good. They're currently at the part where the puppies have been stolen, and they've done the Twilight Barking, you know, like the news service between dogs, where they go ruff 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 and they shout it from a hilltop, and then all the dogs pass along the information like missing puppies, looking for missing puppies, and then they bark back, they've been found at such and such. And they found the puppies through the Twilight Barking, and now Pongo and Mrs., the doggy parents, are on their way to Suffolk to get them. I'm on my bike, by the way. But I'm not in traffic. I'm just riding on like a normal little cute side path, so I think it's probably okay. Anyway, like, I think that there's a new little doggy character that's different from the book called Perdita. Does anyone remember this in the movie? Like, I will probably have to watch the movie later, just because this book is so cute and it's reminding me how good the movie is, and also that my kid has never seen the movie, so that needs to happen, especially as it's Disney Day. But I don't remember Perdita being a dog character in the other one. She's apparently like a sort of nursemaid or whatever. So Mrs., the doggy mommy, she's got 15 puppies, which is loads. So we're like, oh, they don't think that she can take care of 15 of them and still sort of maintain her health. So they needed to sort of get a dog mother that had puppies, but the puppies weren't with her at the present. So she was like rescued from the road, and she's like sweet and feels part of the family. She really loves like the owners and everything and the puppies. So it's like a little nanny. It's like a mommy and a daddy and babies and a nanny doggy family. And also I love like the story about how like the dogs basically run things and they have humans that they own. And they sometimes take them on leads around the park. Also in the book, Cruella de Vil is married. How crazy is that? She found someone who wants to be with her forever. Anyway, I'm on my way to get my kid so that we can go and have some food before her parent-teacher conference evening. Oh, it's like crazy to think about how, like now in parent-teacher conference evenings, I am the parent. Oh, it's so weird. It's like one of those things where it sort of hits you and you're like, oh, you're the adult now. Why are they letting me be the adult? I don't know what's going on. Anyway, hopefully I'll be able to read quite a bit at the pub with my kid while we're getting a bit of foods. Speaking of being an adult, I forgot to put socks in my kid's PE kit, so she's just wearing shoes without it. Oh my god, you guys. It is biblical outside. It is ridiculous. God is cleansing the earth. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, the rains. The rains have come. Yeah, Bubba. Yeah. But then shut that door. My hands are so cold. Like, can you see how bright they are? They're bright red. And like, they're so cold. They're warm. Like, do you get that? Where it's like that little bit of lucidity before death. Like, it's like giving me that little feeling of warmth to just cheer me up right before they fall off. Oh my god, my hair. I tried to like save it. I'm just saving it. It's just over. Oh my god, my handbag. Oh my god, like, you cannot see this, but it is just a flooded massacre in there. I'm gonna have to rethink all of my life decisions. Can you see how wet these are? I have all the life regrets. Dun dun dun. Cruella de Vil's house. Oh my god, I love that they're watching I Love Lucy. That's my favorite show. Oh, I love this book so much. Winter's exhausting. I'm calling it a night. I really, really like this book though. And I think I'm more than halfway through, so like this is the part that's the actual 101 Dalmatians part, and my bookmark is like more than halfway through. Like that's the Starlight Barking part, which I think I'm actually going to read now because I'm really liking this book. It's definitely like quite different from the movie, and it's like a different feel and a different style as well. It's like less kiddo-y, you know what I mean? Like the mother dog says more like mothery things in her thoughts, sort of in the narrative. I guess the Disney cartoon is just sort of like watered down to its like, I don't know, kiddoist parts. It's hard to describe, but there's like more like complexity and like extra detail and stuff in the book, which is like the way of all book and movie situations, but I don't know. I'm just really, really liking the book, and I think anyone who's watched the movie and thinks, oh, well, I've seen the movie, I shouldn't read the book, like, the book is so good. You should definitely read it. Anyway, so more than halfway through. I will continue on this amazing road tomorrow. In the dark, cold, rainy, wet, horrible winter. Cardiff, we need to talk about your weather behavior lately. It's just unacceptable. I've come back to see Dippy. I don't know why. I visit him often. He and I have chats. Maybe it's because he's American like me. We're just expats, the two of us. We should stick together. Snack. It's happy to see you. Right. I have finished 101 Dalmatians and it was amazing. It was so good. I loved it so much, and it's way different from the movie. Like, there's whole other characters that aren't even in the movie, like Perdita and Prince, and some of it is a bit the same, but it's told way better in the book, and I absolutely loved it. Like, I think my favorite part is, like, the part where they all come running in at the end, all, like, covered in soot or whatever, because they were hiding and pretending not to be Dalmatians. They were pretending to be black dogs. And Mr. and Mrs. Dearly didn't even recognize them until they ran all the way in. Oh god, just a flood of all of them, like, ruining the house and running in. I loved this book so much. I'm definitely going to read A Starlight Barking, like the second one in here. Not right now because Heather is on a schedule. But probably next month in Christmas, because I reckon it's going to be Christmassy. And I'm definitely going to do that because it was just really good. It was so amazing. Anyway, so that was the one to do with a seasonal book. And I also sort of coincided it with Disney Day. I've now moved on to The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. So loads of people back home in America are like obsessed with this book. I can't find a lot of people in Britain who've heard of it. So maybe it's sort of like, I don't know, particularly American in classicness. I think it was it was written in the 60s or something. But it's basically about, roughly, a unicorn in a forest. She sort of gets wind that there may be no unicorns left and she's the last one of her kind. So she goes searching to sort of see if that's true and to see if she can find any other unicorns or like what's happened to them or whatever. And she sort of meets interesting characters along the way. So I'm not sure if the cult that has built up around it is to do with the book or the movie. Because I think there's like a 1980s movie that everyone is obsessed with. The movie, like I've never seen it, but when I see like illustrations of it or like scenes from it, it looks gorgeous. Like the animation that's part of the movie is just absolutely gorgeous art, you know? But other than that, I don't really know anything about it or the story. So we're about to find out, I guess. I haven't really read a lot of it. I've only read like the very first parts of it really. First chapter where these hunters come into the forest and they're unable to hunt anything because no animals come out. And they start to think, oh, are the animals in this forest protected by a unicorn or whatever? And then they laugh to themselves. But yeah, that's true. That's what's happening.
Nose I'm eating.
And they sort of yell into the forest like, oh, you know, if there is a unicorn in this forest, never leave it. It's not safe. It's not a good world for unicorns anymore. You're the last of your kind. And she's like, oh, shit. But also, this guy that I used to sort of date, who I know from high school, he runs this sort of company now, to do with like geek swag. You know, it's called Geekify, and it's just like nerdy, sort of sci-fi and fantasy bookish type, like fan swag. And they have a really big series going at the minute where they're making loads of stuff to do with The Last Unicorn. So if I read it all the way and I really love it, like, would it be weird to like contact an ex-boyfriendish type guy and say, can I have some of the cool stuff your company makes? Or is that like weird? Like, can I get a vote? You know? Anyone who's worried about me potentially doing that, please let me know. If you are watching this and you're like, please God, don't do that, I would, you know, like that information if possible. Anyway, we shall see how it goes. Sorry, I forgot to say, this book in Believathon terms, quite obviously, probably, but I'll say it anyway, is like the one that meets the prompt to do with like a main character that's an animal character. Like, fantasy animals count, right? I bet they do. It's probably fine.
So, I want the slime one. This is slime. Okay, look.
Cool. Spike thumbs. Having only pieces of iguanodon. Skeleton to study. British fossil hunter Dr. Gideon Mantell mistakenly positioned the creature's spike on its nose. Ready?
Oh,
Wow.
so cute.
This one's cute. Ew, it's called a mummysaurus.
Do you want to say that?
Whoa.
Why does
this one says fright or fancy. Whoa, it's another one.
Another one.
Whoa, there's 3 of them.
1, 2, 3.
This one is duckbills.
Duckbills.
Duckbill dinosaur. Ready?
Why?
Okay, wait. 2 newly discovered dinosaurs have beaten...
Look at his slimy.
Ew! He's eating him. That's gross. Rise and shine! Tater tot, tater tot, tater tot. I'm a tater tot, tater tot, tater tot. Tater tot! Tater tot. I'm a tater tot. Y'all, I do not think that day 15 of Believathon is kicking off very well. I'm gonna like go out on a limb here and say I don't think I like this book. I know. It is also a shock to me. I'm finding it slightly boring. I hope it improves throughout the day, because if this book that I've wanted to read for absolutely ages because of all the people I know who love it more than any other book on the planet, you know, which has an entire cult surrounding it, if I end up not liking it, like, what does that make me? You know, I'm just like a fuddy-duddy that can't enjoy things. But yeah, I think it's super boring right now, so maybe it'll get better. Okay, I'm midway through chapter 4 now. And, I reckon it's about to get better. I think, like, the introduction of a new character and, like, a mission, I think is gonna help it. Before, it was just sort of, like, this unicorn wandering around, whatever. Anyway, she got captured by this, like, witch woman who had a menagerie, just hanging around. Like, she had, like, a lion and, like, all these creatures. That were sort of bewitched to look like different creatures, like magical creatures, and then it was like a zoo and everyone came and looked. But there was also this magician there, and the magician saw that the unicorn was actually a unicorn and not just a horse like everyone else thinks she is, and set her free, and then the unicorn sort of set everything else free, and there was like a harpy or whatever, and the harpy killed the witch. Anyway, now, working with information she got from the butterfly, that all of the unicorns were rounded up by the Red Bull, who lives with King Haggard. Now the magician and the unicorn are like on a long journey to go to King Haggard. So, you know, I reckon it's gonna get better now. Like, I think maybe the problem is the writing style. I'm just not into it, and sometimes that's just the way of things, isn't it? So, the unicorn has been taken by bandits now, which sounds really interesting. Oh my god, I'm just gonna pop in here for some books.
It's on everything, mate. Vodka, beer, and a shower.
Yeah, with some chips.
You can do your chips.
Right. Okay, y'all. Like, I feel like we should have some, like, real talk about some thoughts I've had about the last unicorn. And they are this. Like, I don't, you know, like to be totally out with it all the time. You know, I don't like to admit it freely. But I'm gonna have, like, some real talk with you now. And tell you that I don't really like Lord of the Rings. I know, it's really bad. But I think it's just too, I don't know, like, fantasy-y? Does that make any sense? Like, old fantasy-y. So, like, the Bible, like, so-and-so begat so-and-so who begat so-and-so. Like, it's not exactly like that. But it's, like, overcomplicated and, like, don't know. But I've always tried to like it really hard because I love Harry Potter, but just can't get into it. And anyway, I worry that this is why I don't like The Last Unicorn, even though everyone on the planet does. Is same with, is this, sorry, I had the hiccups a bit. Is, what was I saying? I've lost it. Oh yeah, so I feel like The Last Unicorn is like that in this way, like old school fantasy-y. And that's why I can't get behind it. You know, and now I feel like I got it off my chest now. I feel like I can, you know, like be honest with you. And also, I feel like I can just continue to not like it. Like, I can get through to the end, because it's a short book, but I don't have to feel all this guilt about I don't like it. I think I just accept that's why I don't like it. I just don't like it. And people who do like it, you know, that's good by them, but I don't. I feel like, you know, we can have real talk. This was a good chat. I appreciate you.
Dad, what's that?
Perfect! Breakfast! Okay, I am now halfway through this book. I reckon I might be able to get through the whole thing by tonight, or by the end of tonight. It's maybe a bit ambitious, but, you know, I'm gonna give it a go. Okay, I know I shouldn't be reading by candlelight like a Victorian child, but I had a lamp thing that I used to use to read down here in the dark whenever I like wanted my kid to sort of wind down before bedtime and watch cartoons. But I don't know where it's gone. I think maybe the baby stole it and put it somewhere. Anyway, I reckon that this book is gonna get better, I think. Right now, this Red Bull thing, so the magician and the unicorn were kidnapped by bandits, and they were strangely reminiscent of Robin Hood, but I think that was on purpose. It was like, they were supposed to be sort of like Robin Hood, but like the crapper version. And then the sort of crapper version of Marion joined the band to go to King Haggard. They finally get there in search of all these unicorns and the Red Bull or whatever, and they find this like enchanted town at the foot of the castle, and it's like cursed or something for some reason, and there's a bit of a chosen one story to go with it, to where the town will be cursed but will continue to prosper as long as this kid or whatever, this chosen one kid, doesn't come yet, because he's supposed to destroy the castle and also make it so that the town is destroyed and can no longer prosper. So they have come there and they've seen this town or whatever, and they're still like determined to, you know, find these unicorns. So they go up toward the castle and they run into the Red Bull. It like chases them and it tries to kill them or whatever. And the magician, to save the unicorn, because the Red Bull's about to get the unicorn, to save the unicorn, he turns her into a woman. And now suddenly she's mortal and she can't cope. Like, I don't know what is about to happen, but some bad shit is about to go down. And we'll see. This is basically what we're doing for the whole of this night, so I reckon I might get it done. God knows. Okay, I finished The Last Unicorn last night, and I've now moved on to Frost Heart. So the Last Unicorn one was the one to do with a main character that's an animal. And, like, to be honest, even though I didn't really like that book for almost the whole of the book, the last 2 chapters were really good. There was, like, a bit of a love story that couldn't be, because it's not the way of things, and there was a prince who became king and stuff like that. Anyway, that's sort of the way of things, isn't it? Like, that's why I have such a hard time DNFing books, and I hardly ever do it. Because I just always think, what if the last chapter or the last 2 chapters is just so good that it makes it worth the suffering for the rest of the book? And I think that's what happened. Like, the last 2 chapters were so good. But yeah, the sort of lead up to those last 2 chapters was super boring. So it's a bit of a trade-off. Like, if you're not like me and you don't think that like 2 amazing chapters at the end is worth all of the trouble of reading like loads of chapters that are super boring, then maybe avoid this one. Or, you know, it might just be me. I think it's probably just me. Like, I think it's probably a really good book. Why do so many people love it and I don't like it? I think it's probably just me. I've now moved on to Frost Heart, which is the group book for Believathon. So Gavin Hetherington was like, This is an amazing book. I think we should all read it. And also when I went into Waterstones one day, it was like the official kids book for the month. And if I bought that book, I also got a free coffee. And I was like, I'm in. Like, don't judge me, but I'm like really in. So anyway, I have that one. I'm really excited about it. It's really cute. It's got loads of like little illustrations and loads of little like styling of the book. Like the side edges are blue. I love a pretty book, me. Anyway, I'm really excited about that. I think that that's gonna be like the majority of my day. Like I have to do some errands and stuff, but I think Frost Heart for my Sunday. I'm gonna bang it out. That's what it is.
I'm gonna read this on night time, and when it's night time, I can do this. Mom, I can read these at morning and bedtime.
Yeah.
Or maybe this bait.
Yeah. Okay, today's Frost Heart progress has been slightly stunted, and that is because I got stuck in a bit of a rabbit hole listening to the audiobook of The Vegetarian by Han King, and I am disturbed. I found that deeply unsettling. I finished it now. I feel like it was really good in that it basically forced me to listen to it and do nothing else all today except listen to it until the very end. It took over my life. I needed that to go in me very badly, and now I can't stop thinking about it. Holy crap. Has anyone read that? Like, I know that has nothing to do with Believathon. But like, if you've read that and you like have thoughts, I feel shaken by it. Anyway, I'm on my way to go get bread and soda and something for Anne for pudding. Whatever. I'll get her like one of those like mini cakes or whatever. But hopefully tonight, after the munchkin goes to bed, I can like bang out some quick read of Frost Heart, because obviously tomorrow is Monday and I have to go to work, and I can't read as much as I could have done today if I hadn't messed around. There's not enough time in the day, let me tell you. I also found somebody at work who has solved the mystery for me about the Eggfree Cake Box. It's like to do mainly, I guess, with like Hindu eating restrictions. So in that religion, the eating restrictions, they have class eggs as meat instead of dairy. So like where we would normally be like, oh, I'm a vegetarian, but I eat eggs and like milk and stuff. That's actually a lacto-ovo vegetarian, whereas Hindus are lacto-vegetarians, meaning they see eggs as being meat that they don't eat. So there are all these like cakes and everything in the world where, even though they didn't have meat in them, since they had eggs, they couldn't eat them. Right. So the new season of The Crown came out today.
What you see is what you get.
At roughly 2 p.m. today, I was on chapter 3, which wasn't ideal, you know, but it was still something, you know. Would anyone like to guess how many pages I've read since about that time? 4. 4 pages. Okay, I am really liking the book so far. So it's about this kid, right? He lives in like this weird fantasy village and like the edge of the world, basically, like sort of like Alaska-y or whatever, where they have like a stronghold on the edge of the snow sea where all these like monsters live. And they can't go into the snow sea because they'll be attacked by monsters. And in like the first chapter, they are attacked by monsters because they lost their ball. Like, just like a couple feet into the snow sea. And they're like, it's just right there, like we can almost reach it. They go out just a bit to get the ball and then are attacked by these like really scary monsters. And like the hunters of the stronghold have to save them. And There's this like song that the creatures make, this like really like scary, like dominating song that like the monsters sing to intimidate the like humans in the stronghold. And because of that reason, the humans in the stronghold see singing as really bad, and they've banned all singing because they see all singing as this like really scary dominating thing. And there's a kid there who's an orphan, basically. His parents used to be like these like explorer trader type people, and they are lost. So they went away thinking, oh, I'll come back, and then they never did. So the care of the kid has fallen to like the collective people of the stronghold. And he's living now with this like Yeti warrior guy who seems like, you know, like tough exterior, like Teddy on the inside type. And this like Yeti guy seems to be the only person who understands that the orphan kid sometimes gets this weird urge to sing, even like especially when he's in danger. Like he thinks, oh, what do I do? What do I do? I'm in danger. I need to save myself. And he like gets this like sudden urge that he needs to sing in order to calm down the creatures. But the Yeti's like, can't do that ever. Don't you dare, because it's gonna like already the humans think that you're a weirdo because you sang a lullaby once on accident. Like if you come out with like this song to like pacify the creatures, they're just gonna kick you out of the whole stronghold, and like it's gonna be a problem, so you can't do it. And that's sort of where I am at the minute. So you're like, oh, what kind of guy is this? Is he actually like a kind of person from this culture in this stronghold? Or is it that because his parents were traders, they're from some other culture that's completely different, and they like have this inbred ability to calm the creatures with song? I don't know. Also, will the parents come back? Are they dead? Or just lost temporarily? Also, why does the Yeti live in the stronghold? He's obviously not human like the rest of the people in the stronghold. He's come from somewhere else. Why? You know, so many questions. Book is so good so far. I love like the interspersed illustrations in it. They're really good. I think this author is down on Insta as like Jamie Littler Illustrations. So I think that he is sort of an artist first and an author second. But despite that, the writing's really good and the book is really good. But also because of that, the illustrations are super, super good as well. Anyway, I'm having a deep existential battle with myself now about what I want to do more with the rest of my night. Do I want to read this amazing book, or do I want to watch The Crown, which I've been obsessively waiting for the last 2 years? Also, it's got that guy in it from Outlander, which I also love. What is it? Tobias Menzies. I desperately want to see him be Prince Philip in The Crown. I don't want to read this book, but I want to watch The Crown. But I want to read this book, but I want to watch The Crown. I wish I could just split all my days into 2 and live them twice, but remember everything that happened from the first part of it, you know? Like Sunday part 1, reading. Sunday part 2, chores and watching The Crown, you know? Or like Thursday part 1, going to work. Thursday part 2, just reading all day long. Oh shit. Y'all, I don't know what this episode is about, but nothing called Aberfan taking place in the 60s can possibly be a good thing. I'm out. It's bedtime. Pronto. Yeah, I just googled it. There's definitely a Crown episode about the Aberfan disaster. Are you kidding me? That's tearjerker city. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to watch that episode. I should just skip from episode 2 to episode 4 and hang whatever information is lost on the storyline. No, that's just a big salty nope from me. Seriously. Thought I was gonna lose more than my rudder there, isn't that right, Master Pod? She asked a small nest. He looked like he'd walked straight out of the wilds. His turquoise eyes were so bright they seemed to glow. I am loving this book. So good. I'm on part 2 now. I am not getting through this quickly, despite the fact that I really do love it. That is mainly to do with me reading this book coinciding with the release of The Crown. To be totally honest. I really like it. He's like having an adventure now. He accidentally did the singing that he's not allowed to do because this other group of pathfinders was coming in, these like adventure people that his parents are, but it's like different ones. They were coming in like a snow ship into their stronghold, and they were about to be eaten by the monsters. So the kid did the singing that he's not supposed to do, and it calmed the monsters and the ship got away. But because the whole town heard him do the singing, they were pissed, and they like shunned him from the group. They like exiled him and they kicked him out. They're like, you're dangerous, you can't live here anymore. So they were gonna like force him to go like somewhere else on his own. But the like Yeti guardian that he has was like, you guys are dicks. Like, I'm obviously gonna go with him. Like, I don't want to, you know, but I'm not just gonna let him go out there. He's a kid. But then the kid sort of realizes, oh, like, what I want to do really is find my parents. And the way to do that is to go with these other pathfinders. So he sneaks out of, like, the Guardian's house really early in the morning before the Guardian is woken up. And just sort of gets on the ship, sort of joins the crew of these pathfinders on a ship called the Frostheart. And, like, he sort of figured out what the lullaby meant that his parents sang for him. It was sort of, like, to help him, like, solve the clues and everything, to find them again, is what he thinks. Oh my god, y'all! I have finished it and it was so good! Like, also, can we talk about this? What? Oh my god, like, I loved like the story of it, I loved the writing of it, I loved the illustrations that were in it. Like, I don't want to tell you like loads of what happens about it, but it's like this kid, he's like rejected from his community and he sort of goes out on an adventure, and there's like all this stuff about like, you know, the world before. Like all of the characters are so good as well and like really creative, but like not in like like a forced way, like an over creative, you know, like a, I don't know, it all really works and I really liked it. It has like a feel to like, the story itself sort of weirdly reminds me of like How to Train Your Dragon, you know, that movie. That, like, I guess because it's sort of like strongholds at the edge of the world type thing, you know, like with one sort of central kid who like ends up being really brave and sort of going about and, you know, fighting things on his own, and like it's got sort of like a weird sort of Viking-y feel as well, but with the illustrations and everything and like the patterns all over the pages and everything, it sort of gives off like a weird sort of I don't know, Inuit sort of vibe, or like a sort of native cultures type vibe, you know? I don't know. I just, like, I loved this. It was like, it was good, and I can't wait for the next one. Anyway, that was the Believathon group book, and I finished that one. So now I am down to one book left in Believathon. Just one book, and I think it's going to be Neverending Story by Michael Ende. So that one's quite big. I think that's why I've saved it for last. And also, I'm not sure how I feel about reading it now. Like, my not really liking The Last Unicorn as much as I thought I would has made me rethink it a little bit. Like, am I into these sort of like 70s, 80s ish like fantasy stories for kids like I thought I was, or maybe I'm like not into it? And it's such a big book as well. It's gonna take up so much of my time and so much of my like investment in the story just for me to potentially not like it. And like, you know how I hate to DNF things, so it's just got me thinking that maybe I should read something else for the very last book as well, to like, I want to like end it on like a really good point. So I don't know, I may change my TBR slightly. Up to this point, I've like stayed true to my entire TBR, like 11 books. And I'm glad that I did, because I think there's only really one of them I didn't like so much. And even that one, in the end, like the last 2 chapters were really good. So this is going really well, and I'm really excited about it. I will see you next time for the conclusion of the Believathon videos. Ugh. Read this book, it was so good. Okay, that's the end.